Within Skyward, there are some other tools that can help you navigate, and they are focused right here in this bar. I'm going to talk through each of these quickly. The first is a student locator. It literally does what the tooltip says. It finds a student and you can view his or her daily schedule. I'm in demonstration test data right now, so it's not going to show you exactly what it would look like, but it will be close. So I just type in the last 4 or 5 letters of a student's last name. The student will pop up in the list, and it will show if I had classes scheduled for this student in the system. You see that it shows the period times. It knows what time I'm looking at, what time of day, and it will highlight the class that the student is in at that time. Again, like the navigation like I was talking about before, if you have a back button, use it. In this case, closing the window doesn't hurt it either. Notes. You can create notes within the program. These are basically, the way you need to think about this is notes for yourself. You add a note, and then you can type the detail of the note in the text box that's made available to you. Notice you can also attach a document, and you can display for all users in the district. If you save it, it will be available, and hit back, and you'll see that the little indicator shows me one note available. The only thing I would say about notes is that unless your district or your school is very intentional about using this and the people checking it, this might be an area that you wait to implement as you go through. If it's going to work for you, it's going to work, and this is something that your staff needs to be dedicated to checking. It's not like you're going to get automated notifications when a new note is added or anything like that. They're just there. The notification is literally that number showing you if it's there or not. The next little tool is a screen capture tool. Basically, this sends a printout of the screen to your print queue, which we'll talk about in a minute, but it basically takes a screenshot of the screen that you're on. So this can be really helpful if you're asking for help on the Curriculum Master, for example. If you've scrolled in and you have a certain question about adding academic standard links, you literally could just click that button and it will take a screen capture of the screen that you're currently sitting on, and it sends it to what's called your print queue. While this is running, or while any report is running, you can always hit the back button and it will continue to run and eventually show up in your print queue where your documents are. Favorites. Favorites is something that's really helpful. As you go through the system, you're going to find that you're continually going to 1 or 2, 3, 4 areas, and you're going to constantly be going there and you'd like to get there quickly. Or if it's an area that you rarely use and you can't remember how to get there for the life of you, you could save it in a favorite. So if you drill down into a certain area, say the course master, for example, if there's a star next to the area that you land on, next to the tab that you land on, you can click the star. Once I do that, it will appear in my list of favorites right here. When I'm on my home screen, from my favorites, I can simply click with one click and get right to where I was. So the favorites are pretty handy. Anywhere that you navigate within the system, you just simply click the star next to the tab or the screen that you're on. And you'll notice that there are different, it's not like you're going to go to the main student profile screen, but for every one of these options on the left here, you do have the option to make that a favorite. Sometimes you're within a system, and for going to the students, for example, if you want their general information available to you, but you also need to look at, say, their schedule at that point, and you want to do it side-by-side comparison and look at both screens at once and not have to flip back and forth. This would be a great use for using the next tool called New Window. What I do is when I get to the location where I want to open a new window and do a side-by-side, I get there, navigate to that spot, and I go ahead and click New Window, and it opens up the exact same window on the exact same student. And at this point, what I can do is I could check attendance, for example, or I could go look at their current schedule, and now I can have both windows side by side, and I can do a quick comparison if I'm working on this student over here. In this case, I would just close this window, or you can actually click exit, and it will drop that window out and get you back to your main window that you were on. The last thing that we need to talk about up in this toolbar is your print queue. Any report that you run in Skyward goes to what's called your print queue. It does not go to a printer, for example. So if I'm running a report card for a student, or if I'm running a daily attendance summary sheet, it will go to my print queue and not the printer. The nice thing about this is it gives you the option to preview the document in the exact form, exactly what it's going to look like as it comes out of a printer before you actually send it to the printer. It also creates a PDF for you, so you can save this document. Once the document has run and it's in your print queue, you can simply click View, and here's the document. And you notice it's a PDF, so I can save it. I can then send it to a printer if I wanted to, that kind of thing. So that is the print queue. There are a lot more options with the print queue, especially like scheduling certain reports to run on a certain day at a certain time always for you. That's an ability that you have within here. The thing to realize about the print queue is that everything that's in your queue deletes after 48 hours. So if it is something that you needed, you either need to go print it or go save it if you want it to be there forever. But realize obviously you can go back and run the exact same thing again out of the system. You can manually delete things as well. If there's a task that you just ran and you want to rerun it again to get more updated information, you have that ability. And that's a deeper look into the navigation within Skyward, focusing on these tools that follow you in many screens within the system.